headset that requires an AMP DAC to function, which is quite normal.
Already.
Setting my brain into saying, okay, so Bennett is gonna fuck up. You guys take a position. Okay, so we're gonna address here is high ground control, right?
Cool.
What do you mean cool?
Oh yeah. I'm putting it in the notes section.
Okay.
I was asleep here, I think. I think we readied up and I was asleep.
So these are the high grounds, right? And I already spoke about this before, how 20 doesn't know there's a window in here, and how you don't know how the rotations work, and how we can control this high ground. And also, I need to do this on attack and not defense. That's better. So we're playing dive. They're playing a comp that counters dive. Simple, right? So that means you have to use the map geometry to your advantage in order to win. This is in the Crypton VOD on how to play dive against Brawl on this map.
Yeah.
Except we're playing a bit different because we added the spam factor. So that means we need high ground control and we need positional control in order to win this fight, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So we forced them with high ground by using Pharah. It's quite normal, like they don't have to sustain, you need a Moira if you want to stay up there. Bennett feeds because he doesn't know how a rollout works. We'll talk about that later. But in general,
I didn't expect there to be a diva sitting there, but yeah.
well, the entire enemy team was here, so if you don't even bother thinking about someone being here, that's already a problem, because you're supposed to scout that.
Yeah.
And you didn't. You just went in and you were like, oh shit, there's a diva shooting me. Not acceptable.
Yeah.
Never be AFK in-game. So here we have a response, and for now we have a crossfire. So that means Josh is in this crossfire and you are over here. So we're controlling this area. You don't have Ana healing, but you do have a Lucio. So, but you don't have Lucio. So that means a Mercy. That means you don't have healing. That means you're only having a Mega, which is okay because there's only a Diva there. So you're forcing rotation here. You're not going for the Diva here. It's simple, right? Like, you're not gonna kill that Diva. It's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rotation is done. Problem now is step 3, right? We need setup and we need high ground control. So that means Brandon should already be on this high ground. What is he healing in the meantime? Like, what are you doing, Brandon? You need to be on this high ground.
Yeah, I got there later, but I think I was just asleep here.
We don't do sleeping in scrims. You sleep when you sleep. That's what bets are for. So in this rotation, enemy is already in here. You already know that we're in this building. That means you can't heal, and the only person you can heal has a Mercy on him. So that means rotation, high ground control, and being aware of what to do with that high ground control. Because why do we want this high ground control?
Because I can see like everything. I can nade everywhere.
That sounds like 2 very important things in the 6 steps that we need.
Yeah.
So why is high ground important? Not just on this map, but in general. Like in a general sense, why is high ground control important?
Well, it normally requires an enemy to do a rotation to obtain the high ground that you control.
Mm-hmm.
So like generally can force out a rotation, and you can get a lot of scouting as well.
Yeah. So in this scenario, you have it to set up a stage. But on a scenario like Hanamura, it is critical on a second point to control high ground due to the fact that you need to be able to touch the point. And if you can't control the high ground, you will never be able to properly touch the point because they will just spam you out. Right?
Yeah.
So on a map like Eichenwald, it's the same. Like, you fucked up big time there. In that case, it wasn't necessarily high ground control, but it was still control of where you're supposed to go. And then the second point, it is high ground control. So this applies to a lot of things. Like, you need to understand, why are we taking high ground? Because you did some weird fucking shit on Eichenwald.
As a Ryan on defense.
No. When you were playing dive.
Monkey.
Is that when...
Is this defense or attack? I'm a little bit...
Don't worry, I'm
I
gonna get
think I
to
messed
it.
up on both.
Eichenwald was second map.
Yeah, I'm here. Not this one. So, normally, when you do this, Yeah, you see rotation, you set up here, and then you drop down, they go inside, you go back up. That is what I DM'd you. High ground control.
Okay.
Instead, what you did was some weird ass shit where I'm like,
I didn't. Okay. Now
like I am literally looking here because I'm like, is it
Yeah.
happening? Is it happening? This is a rotation. Is it happening? No, it's not. No, like, okay, I guess we're not doing this today.
Crossfire. I think that's
So this is the same concept as Blue Box. High ground control. Same concept. Exact same concept. All you have to do is drop down, no abilities used, and then you can go back up. The advantage, well, your supports can stay up here, can heal you from here or here, and there's no pressure on them. That sounds like a very good plan.
Yeah.
Because that means you can get healing, and your supports are not in danger, and of course your Pharah in this case should be in the area he's in, so he's around this angle, so that means he's covering around this area, which is fine. Like, he's in a good position, but you guys are just doing fuck all. So you're playing the response game. What do I say about response games?
normally bad.
No, you shouldn't do it, or you're gonna go back to plat.
But like, what do you mean by response? Like,
You're just reacting.
oh, okay, but like, I mean, like, if you mean it like, because sometimes you say like we're just reacting as in ways that we're not being to our win conditions, that we're just playing like whatever.
That is what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Like, that boop is pure luck. That boop is pure luck. Like, let's get real.
Yeah. But I'm saying
Enemy is
therefore we
playing a
shouldn't be
counter.
we shouldn't be reacting.
Yeah, but the enemy is playing a counter against you. Allowing them to get close, like this, where you don't really have a retreat route, except for retreating to the payload, and even then they can still chase you. No. Just no. This is just bad.
Yeah.
So just like what I just saw on Blizzard World, if you were to just drop down here, and your Pharah is over here, and your supports are like here or here, done. Like, 20 will stay up here, he will dynamite the rotation like he's supposed to, even though he doesn't do it. And you guys will just drop down on them, create some chaos, get some ult charge, and then peace the fuck out. They can't stop you. It's very simple. It's a very simple concept that you should be able to instantly identify. So I helped you with it. And that's when the really weird thing started, because how are you controlling the high ground from there? How is this high ground control?
When you sent me the message, I was thinking, I didn't even think of the like that rotation when they moved underneath. I was thinking like maybe I need to drop in the rotation when they come out the door or something.
Yeah, but you're not dropping on them at all. You're just
Yeah.
sitting there like Legion Garden.
Yeah.
But Legion Garden is a very flat map. So on Legion Garden there is no real high ground control. So in that case, it makes sense to do that. Lots of high ground on this map. You're not using it. So if you take that concept to Blizzard World's second point, or defense, yeah, defense. So here, we are playing now Brawl, right? Spam Brawl.
Yep.
We have lots of healing with Moira. We have some good positions. High ground control. You want to control this?
Yes.
What does this enable?
Enables scouting and enables the staging or setting up.
Yeah, but it enables something else as well.
Spam.
Yeah? Not what I'm getting at.
Initiating without using abilities.
Ooh.
Ooh,
20,
that's kind of-
20 should be the
Hey.
shot caller.
Good job, 20 in your shot caller.
Bruh.
Actually,
Good
no
luck, have
more.
fun.
Congrats, yay!
Good luck, have fun, mate.
Yeah, I'm never gonna hit a shot ever again if I was.
So in this scenario, what would happen is payload gets pushed forward, and from here you can either drop down here, or you could go all the way on here and then drop. In the meantime, your Ashe can take this crosshair angle, and she'll be fine. Your Torp will put turrets wherever it's required, so you could put it over here if we're gonna go in. Kind of depends on how the fight is going, but it's an aggressive hold. If the payload is already over here, it's the same story. You can just hold over here and you're fine. But if you give them the high ground, like your Torbjorn is right now on the low ground, you're barely setting up and you're already dropping down. What did you just accomplish? Like, where's the payload?
It's still, yeah.
So why are you here?
I thought I needed help, Torb.
No, well, I said it, right? Like, if your teammate fucks up to such a degree, let him die, let him learn.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't go anymore. Like, we need to start really learning. So this guy being on low ground, unexcusable. We're going for high ground control, and that is final. Like, that is just straight out facts. Like, don't waste our position like that. When the payload is this far behind, if we just stabilize here and look for value, we could then potentially run up on them. That was a play here. We don't have a Lucio, so that means we are playing for the long game. We have the spam, we have the long sustain, we can fight.
Yeah.
This is high ground control. It's taking high ground. They need to contest it if they want to do something about it. But we don't even force them to do that. They're like, oh, they dropped down. How nice of them. So then Dizzy drops down, Brandon drops down. Good job, right? Like, the payload is now gonna get this entire spot for free. This entire space has now been gifted. This is a gift. We already lost the point. They already are on 5 minutes. That's a big deal, right? Like 5 minutes. That means they fucked us up. That means you need to waste a lot of time so the third point can still be held. It's for everyone, right? Like, everyone needs to understand this concept.
Yeah.
So you can't just give up so much space when the payload is still all the way on the other side. That makes no sense. And in order to control that, there's high grounds. Especially on Blizzard World, second point, lots of high ground control. But this doesn't pass. This just doesn't pass. Like, you're struggling so much and you're still backing up. Like, the payload is not even close to you, yet you're stabilizing here. Like, what are you stabilizing for? What is your win conditions? You don't have a Lucio, I tell you that much. You don't have speed.
Yeah. So, well, we're looking for spam then. We're playing for spam and high ground control.
Yeah, but what did I just say about this?
Oh, yeah, point pressure as well.
You're playing for this. This is a payload. It's a hybrid map, but this part is payload.
Yes.
Are you currently playing to the objective of the map?
No.
There you go. Because you guys really struggle with this. Like on Gibraltar, it's easy. Just sit in blue box. And then after first point is lost, you guys start struggling. It's always like that. Because you don't understand payload. Payload maps, hybrid maps, they're all the same. Dorado's kind of the same. You think, okay, I have Reinhardt, I have Shatter. Well, that should already be a solution to you. Like, you see the enemy come, you're like, well, I'm not going to do shit with that Shatter. Why do I need my coach to help me swap?
Yeah, okay.
It's all about high ground control. Like, Dorado is a very high ground heavy map. And that's why the counter to that, which we've been going for a while now, is that top strategy, our payload strategy. Like, I respect that good teams will control high ground, right? I respect that. My strategy is like already kind of a level higher than what you're playing at. But that's fine. Like, we're trying to get to the level anyway, so it's fine if we do that. That's how you won a map in OD against the 4.4, 4.5k team. That is what I want, right?
Yeah.
And that is my goal. So I respect the win conditions that will come in, like, let's say low tier 3. Because that's the current goal. And by the time we enter OD, I expect us to be fully integrated in low tier 3. Because that means we have a chance for playoffs. And that's where strategies like this come into play. And teams will not give you this payload for free. They just won't. They're not stupid. This team? Yeah, they're stupid. Yeah, we're stupid. We were trying to fix this. So this is high ground control. And this is controlling the payload and controlling the high ground. And for what are you controlling the high ground? In this scenario, you're controlling the high ground for the payload and to make sure that you use the least amount of resources in order to maximize your comp's potential.
Yeah.
So that's clear. Yeah, it's initiating for free. Yeah, exactly. Just like on Icon what I just showed you. It's initiating for free. Because you can get out for free. They can stun you, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
They have some abilities, but that's resources. And resources are very good, because what DPS were you playing?
Pharmacy. Which one on this map? No.
On Icon World.
Pharmacy. Sure.
So you were playing spam, so that means in that duration, the win condition of your spam comp, which is ultimates, has been heavily activated. And all you had to do for that is dropping down and using your shield, using some DM management, and then piecing the fuck out.
Yeah.
So the high control concept very heavily favors win conditions as well. And those two go intertwined, right? Like they're connected.
Yeah.
So this is another thing to add on top of what we already have. Some theory about individual heroes, ult tracking. Okay, so then we move on. So I have time. Yeah, okay, I want to start with this. So on this map, I specifically did the icons a bit different. And I said a little bit on why last time, right?
Yeah, so you can see how we stack, or if we're stacking.
Like, it's very easy here. Because normally I just look at icons so I can see animations and see what's going on. That is for me as a coach personally. Because I know that there's a certain manager here that likes these gay-ass icons for some reason. But, well, I don't, because I can't see your animations with these icons.
No, I like health bars, I don't need icon. I just like normal health bars, don't fucking put it on the next thing. You play with no health bars at all.
Yeah, I don't need that shit, it's in the way.
Because it's at the top, but I like to have it above the player. The icons is a plus and a negative, but anyway.
This is all I need, it's all I need. It's all I need. So this is gonna be a bit more icon control, obviously. Oh yeah, they had a long ass pause here. I forgot.
Yeah.
So we are playing dive against our direct counter.
Oh, we go back and switch.
That's just.
We did it yesterday. I'll let you know.
But not the
That's why I
point.
put it on green. Yeah.
This fight is whatever. You do switch, but ult economy wise, you've already fucked up. Simple, right?
Yeah, we run already as shadow.
Yep, and you are all on 0%, except for Jizzy, because he's the only person staying on the same hero.
Yeah.
You see how critical of an issue that is.
Yeah.
So if you think about ults, especially on King of the Hill, a very big deal is how you have to realize when to take neutral. We've already spoken about this before, but this is the perfect example, because King of the Hill just is the perfect example on neutrals, because if you roll out with a comp that is directly countered, you will hard feed. There is no sugarcoating that. You will hard feed. Against good teams, you will get absolutely destroyed. Like, there is no two ways about it. That is how this game works. Hard counter is hard counter. There is nothing around it. So that means when we go in, when we hard feed, we're going to be behind an ult economy. That means the only way you're gonna win is if you dry fight here. Which I don't want, because it's called King of the Hill. And that means this is gonna go up, and our win chances are gonna go down. Because by the time this thing reaches 99, all the enemy team has to do is get 6 ults, and then be like, okay, we give you the point, then we recap with our ults, and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
That is just simple King of the Hill. Okay, so stacking was what we were really getting at here. You see the comp, you're getting some damage. Right now we're still stacked, right? Like, we are together. We're calling it. We haven't even started yet. Josh is almost dead. You're split. What's going on? Why are we splitting? What is the problem with our stacking? Why can't we stack? What is the problem? Why do we stack? What is stacking good for? Who can tell me?
So it's hard to punish rotation.
Sure.
Does that allow you to make rotations with like using very minimal resources or abilities?
Well, it's hard to punish an individual target during a rotation.
Without getting rolled. For Maywall.
Oh, forehead.
You're in a close quarters, so if you are gonna go in and they mayball you, you're fucked. Unless you're stacked.
We can always just write it out.
Like a good map
I like
to
stacking.
use as an example is Lijiang Garden. But over here, something is going on. Lazy gets in a weird position and they fucked up their wall, which is good. And now look at what's happening.
Why do we back up here? I can't remember.
Am I the only one? No, okay.
Are they still? Oh, they're still fighting. Okay, yeah.
He did a bandit shadow.
Why did we back up here? That's the real question.
Do you see that if we're playing Brawl versus Brawl and this guy decides
Hey, at
How-
least I'm with Squishy.
how are you going to win a fight if your Rhine gets a fuck ton of damage into him, but our Rhine is gonna be like, but my team does the same, right? My team also does that, right? He too does that, right? Right? No. This is your DPS bandit.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, you're gonna take a lot of damage, your shield is gonna go down, and you're gonna die. And you're gonna expect me to do the same to the enemy, right? But in reality, I'm not gonna do that. So you see how this is a problem, right? Like if we don't stack and we don't focus the same things, unless we have like a map with like mecha base where there's like different types of win conditions where we do go for alpha angles, it makes sense. There is no alpha angle here. There isn't. Period. There is no alpha angle. None. Unless you're gonna tell me there is one, but there isn't. So you see how everyone should be together here and focusing the same thing. So that means over here, rotating of abilities need to happen, and for that, you do one simple thing, which is stacking. Simple, right?
Yeah.
This is very apparent in... Go on.
Wouldn't pathing also be then a good way to solve this?
Yeah,
If
also.
you have a pather. Should I take on that role or should Bandit have that?
It's not really on a priority list right now.
Okay.
It's more about... Because you don't hear the comps, but in this time, stacking was set around 10 times. And we still don't do it. So you see how that is a problem.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily
When
need
we
a
get
pet.
pressured, we run away.
So if we are that afraid, then Brawl might not be our comp, but reality doesn't work that way. Some maps are just simply Brawl maps, and I can get around that by playing something like Dallas Fuel did, but Brawl's win conditions are just way stronger than what Dallas Fuel tried to do, and that's why Shock just stomped them. That's a very
I like
old...
stacking.
Yeah, you do, but there are two people in your team that just don't care. And the moment your Rhine is dead, that's an entire win condition gone. Because if you fuck up the enemy Rhine, that means all you have to do is stabilize and fuck up the entire enemy team because they lost their main tank. Same for us. The only thing you can do here is reset. But like you either reset or you hard feed. You choose to hard feed. Because I don't see anyone backing off. And no 20, the fact that you're getting pressure doesn't count. So the reason you stack is simply, especially in Brawl versus Brawl, like in Dive it can be a bit different because you need staging, which means different positions. In a spam, you need off angles. So this is specifically on Brawl. You stack up in order to rotate abilities and to win the Ryan versus Ryan, so to say. It's like, well, how goats worked. In some maps, like I said, Mecha base, there are different win conditions because goats is dead, so that means you can use few different heroes here and there. And we've already seen that some enemies have already adapted to the Ana Kree flank with Diva Kree. And that shuts our plan down. But you still need to be aware of those. So stacking, straight and simple, you do it to win fights. You do it to put out damage, you do it to put out resources, and you do it to outperform the enemy. Questions about stacking? The stacking is easy. You just have to do it.
I got a
Nothing?
question for the team here, right? Is it more that you worried about Banner not blocking the shadow or whatnot that creates more of the passive playstyle? Or is that positioning just tough luck, bad luck? Brandon 20? Because that's something that would need to be understood, like the thought process of why you would have done that.
What gone to this fight? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know the shadow came out and Mana blocked it on the left, but when the noise or the animation of knowing that the shadow was coming, because I'm sure the comms would have called something like that. The reason you took the off angle, do you know what it was?
I mean, I was just jumping to 20.
20 was jumping to you. Okay, fair enough.
This makes it a lot easier if you do stack to block shadows, because then it's like he can't really shadow you like out of my range, you know. Like if I don't block the shadow, then that's totally on me. But like if we play split and he goes, for instance, maybe I'll be on the right and like half the team's on the right, half the team's on the left, and he can just shadow the left and he gets like free fix on that side. So
There are some people that are guilty of this. People that don't stay behind the Rhine shields. They go a bit too much to the left. And what happens? Bandit blocks the shatter, but two of his teammates are shattered, and he doesn't know why. Because his shield was blocking the shatter. This happens quite often. Like, you have very many examples of this, where your teammates just don't care Bandit. That's
the
why.
only reason why I brought it up, yeah.
Yeah. But that is more of an offensive angle. Like, you see it a lot what we do on King's Row. Bandit blocks shatters, but some teammates go a bit too much to the left, probably because they can't see what is behind Bandit, or in front of Bandit. Because there's a big shiny ass in front of them. They go a bit too much to the left in order to see a name. And by then they can leave the Reinhardt shield area. So when enemy has Reinhardt shatter, you're stacked either way. But in this example, it wasn't necessarily about the shatter because he didn't have shatter yet. We just played like idiots. We split, didn't really have a rotation, we just waited, and they came for us. It's simple, right? Like, we don't have a Maywell, they do. We're playing a bit for spam, but we're really playing for the Torp to press E. Win conditions. And in the first place, you wouldn't take this rotation against their comp, you would take main, but that's besides the point. Why would you go main here?
It's easier to go around Maywells.
You're playing a spam hero called Torbjorn. Where is he gonna put his turret if you're gonna all sit in some tiny ass corner? Yeah, stacking, obvious, right? Make use more examples. It's the same here, right? Because this time we are on the Pearl. We have the May, we have the Kree, they have the Reaper. That means we need to be a bit more aggressive, right?
Oh yeah, this is what I want to ask. So when we're playing against a comp like this, so they are playing for more, if I'm correct, frontline pressure, because they've got the Reaper, right? So they're looking for a lot of like stacking and like pushing in with frontline pressure. In this scenario, do we stack or do we still do the off?
In this scenario, you stack. Like, enemies inviting you to just go in.
Yeah. So here we would, because they're giving us connector, we'll take it. But like let's say it was ignore like that there's a connector here, but like if we were playing in open, for instance, do we still look for off angles in?
No, in the first place, you're not looking for off angles. You're gonna look for off angles somewhere after scouting. Like, you need this one down before you can off angle.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if you're playing this comp in general, like, do you want to rather scrap the idea of playing off angles with the brawl? Because I know against some like comps we don't do off angling at all with the brawl. We just rather stack instead.
Yeah, against Die, for example.
Yeah. So like for this comp, if they're playing with just the Reaper instead of the Kree, are we still doing the off angling?
No, this you can hard fight. They
Okay.
want full frontal pressure, but the moment Reaper gets value is mostly when he pushes beyond the Rhine, which
Yeah.
means you can shut him down. That is like May's responsibility.
Cool.
But Dizzy hard ends here because what do?
We click S.
Brandon is here, 20 is there, Lazy, Dizzy, Josh, and Bennett are there. Is this a bad off angle? No, it's not. Is this stupid, what we did here? Yeah, it is.
Is what I did bad? Because they walled it, and then as soon as they walled it, I was
Yeah.
like,
But what they did was literally they just were like, okay, we're gonna go in. When we see them, we wall them. What we did is we go here. Okay, we go here. Oh, our off tank is walled. Okay, we press S. Break the wall. Like, where is our problem?
Sim TP?
They
Get
did.
there first? Okay, so that was already a...
It's a rollout, yeah. I don't think they did actually.
oh, they just somehow.
We were slow.
Yeah. Like, you guys actually made it way earlier.
I think
It's
I
just-
actually just clicked S. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Because you were waiting for the whole team and then... Yeah.
Yeah, but this is more about you want to control the half line, and your team will come. You just don't want to push forward from here.
Yeah. So it would be like same as Lijiang, the inside run control center, where you play like halfway, and you
Yeah.
can always just back downstairs if you need.
Exactly. Because what is there over here?
To. Yeah. So either I back up main or I back up down the stairs there. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Enemy has it as well. It says, yeah, we press SR. And also, yeah, stacking. I don't think we have to talk more about stacking. I think everyone understands stacking right now, right?
I do.
It's a matter of fully doing it and fully committing to it, you know?
Yep. And then we can do, like, raw theory is very easy. Raw theory, even Overwatch League messes up sometimes. Raw theory is very simple. So I'm just gonna show you. Showing is easier, right?
Yeet. Yes, sir.
So what a lot of teams do, it is something I first worked on with Argon. It's not something you guys have to do. I said this a while ago to Gut, but we didn't start implementing it yet due to other reasons. But there comes a time where we just do. So how do you roll out on a King of the Hill map? It's very simple. You look at like what map it is, right? So this map is very easy. Most likely you're even gonna roll out with the sim. Like a lot of teams just play sim here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we really want is, okay, so you kind of around here, move out a little bit. You have TP, entire team goes through, except for the DPS. And then DPS just swaps.
The people, and then, yeah.
Or McCree, it doesn't really matter. The DPS can arrive late. Because what does it allow if we are like, for example, over here? If the team is over here, enemy team is over here. Voila. Now imagine if you were Kree over here in this angle, and for example, there would be a wall here, and a wall here, and the team's fighting, and their DPS didn't manage to get here, but you did. It's simple, right? Like, you just get value, and even then, if there is support behind that wall, simple concept. Of course, it doesn't work with Reaper. With Reaper is close range, but on McCree, if you are around here, your team will already be there due to the Sim TP. They will start fighting, and by the time the fight actually starts, you're already in a position to do your job.
Yeah.
So this is very important. This is why this is why rollouts are important, like exceptional maps like Lijiang. Like on Lijiang Control Center, you can assume that almost every team does it. Like every team just simply does it. Because it's stupid not to. So, for example, on this map, you guys still do the TP strategy, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah.
normally what would happen is you just TP, do this, lose your speed if you're playing Brawl, and then either go there or get there. If you go here, and the enemy hasn't done the CP-TP, the SIM-TP, what you can do is like they see the SIM-TP here, and then you can just Brawl them. You jump into them. Nothing they can do to stop you. Because you can't stack up there. Everyone knows that, right? You can't stack there. Someone will drop down, and that's value. Because you already got there. Like you already managed to get here. You were here first.
So we shouldn't TP to the window. Is what you're saying?
Well, you can. Like it's not necessarily a bad strategy, but it's very easy to catch people off guard. And also, it's more about the neutral. Because what most teams do is they roll out with comp, they maybe hold it for a little bit, and then they have to switch. Whereas if you roll out with Brawl, and the enemy is rolling out with this comp, and what are they going to switch to? There's only one thing they can switch to, either Brawl or potentially some spam. But if you roll out normally, like, because you would roll out with a Moira here, you would have enough sustain to play against Savara. That just means we have to stack, it means this needs to do his job, it means 20 needs to do his job, and we'll be fine. Because this map is pretty easy to control point against Savara. So that means dive is already not an option to them, because we're Brawl. Pharah is not really an option due to, well, kind of depends on how good we are, because if we're bad then the Pharah will just rip us up apart, but theoretically, you will be fine on point.
Yeah.
And double shield doesn't matter, you just sit around here.
As long as we keep the Val busy.
Yeah. And that's what I've been working on with Dizzy today. And Dizzy should fix those issues. I hope. I think I made it very clear because he adapted pretty fast. So rollout is very simple. It's always the same. Like on other maps like 2CP and such, you use scout first, so rollout doesn't really matter. Because we want scouting information, we don't want to int, we just want to win the neutral and go for the next one. Simple, right?
Yeah.
But on King of the Hill, it's a different type of strategy. Like you want to just TP into them, and that's the end of that. So that means TP straight from the base, and then it kind of depends on what you want. So if you want the Kree, we go Kree. If you want a Reaper, we want Reaper. On this map, generally, what teams do is they just TP from here, take the TP, and then when everyone is through, you go Reaper, TP through. Doesn't really matter what the enemy plays. If they play Doomfist, well, guess what counters Doomfist? Both Reaper and McCree are fine. And he will be just in time, just like you guys, to take this fight. And then he can still switch to Kree. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, the hero is fine either way. Even if he goes Kree, he could just take main. He could go from here, and he will be into the off angle that we've discussed many times.
Yeah.
He'll just be a bit slower. That's all there is to it. And if he doesn't have to take this rotation, like you guys who are going to go all the way over here, if he doesn't have to, like he can go straight from here. It's about the same distance. Sure, it'll still take him like a second longer, due to the fact that he was a bit behind. But he'll still be in a position the moment the actual fight starts.
Yeah.
So simple, right?
Yeah.
That does mean if we're doing this that Brennan goes with the team. That just means 20 solo takes the off angle. And then somewhere mid-fight, Brandon would take like go from stairs and take this position, and then 20 is already here. So, but that's just rollouts. Rollouts are very simple. You have a sim TP on King of the Hill, and you go straight for it. You can do this with every single comp. It doesn't really matter. You can do it with dive, as long as it is the DPS playing the sim, and the DPS switches to a hero that will be a little bit late, but that's okay. That extra second is okay because your tanks have taken way more space than the enemy team has. And if the enemy team has done the same, you're in a neutral. You're equal. Both of you have done the same. Simple, right?
Yeah.
You'll never be. Yeah.
Whereas what we see a lot is the enemy does do it and you don't. And they still take an extra second for their DPS to catch up. And there's nothing you can do about it. because that extra second is viable due to the space taken from the tanks. This map is just, yeah, you fucked up. Nothing you can do about it. So that is 2 more topics down.